what's shaking, what's doing? Welcome to episode 352 of McCrae Live. The date today is, it's Thursday. Thursday, August the 14th, 2025, 2:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My name's Dave McCrae, coming to you live from the Voice Man Studios in Toronto, Canada. Friday the 13th, sweet revenge! What did you think of it? Let me know. If you're watching after the fact, jump into the comment section. Let me know. If you're watching live, let me know in the chat room, whether that's a member chat, a super chat, a regular chat. Let me know your thoughts. Sweet Revenge is here, the 13-minute vignette. What did you think of it, ladies and gentlemen? Let me know. Yes! What's going on, folks? What's happening? What's shaking? What's doing? Welcome to episode 352. 352 of McCrae Live. Thank you for joining me here on this. Hey, it's still hot. I don't know where you are, but it is hot. The summer, we are in the thick of the summer right now, and what better way to, have some fun and talk about Friday the 13th. But more specifically, the vignette, Sweet Revenge, the vignette, the short film, the hard apple cider commercial that dropped on the Jason Universe YouTube channel last night at about 8 o'clock, 8:15, 8:10, I don't know, shortly after 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time last night. I watched it like many of you did, and I was going to go live last night, actually, but then everybody was going live, and I thought, oh, God, I don't want to, we're all going to eat into each other, and I thought, I don't want to do that. So I thought, that would also give me the overnight to, think about it a bit more and scour the social medias and see what everybody's saying. And, it's a bit of a mixed bag. There are some people that actually don't mind it, that actually quite enjoyed it, for what it was. And then, of course, you have people that are not happy about it, that are pissed off, and we're going to talk about that here. Some of you may not like what I have to say. You may not like what I have to say, and I could not care any less. Because, as you know, if you follow me for any length of time, what good would it do if I just told you what you want to hear? That's not what I want to do. I have to tell you what I think, and if you agree with me, that's great. If you don't, that's okay too. And let me first start off by telling you what I thought about this vignette, or this, short film, Sweet Revenge, Friday the 13th. So here are my thoughts. So I actually liked it. I thought it was all right. It didn't blow me away, but that's virtue of the fact that it was a 13-minute apple cider commercial, And so here are the things I like. So I actually didn't mind the look of Jason. Let's just talk about Jason, okay? Let's talk about him first, all right? Because I know that's good, what you want to know. So let's talk about Jason. So I found out this information after I had watched the vignette. But as I was watching it and the mask came on the screen, there were people that said it was too dark. I didn't like how dark it was. It was dark, sure, but I actually quite liked it because it felt like real darkness, not studio darkness, where everything just kind of like, like where all these lights coming from. Yeah, it's dark, but not. No, this felt claustrophobic and eerie, very reminiscent of the original Friday the 13th from 1980. That could be budgetary as well. I mean, I don't know. I think it's $1 million they spent on this, but I stand to be corrected on that. So not a lot of money. But I didn't mind it. It wasn't too dark to me. I mean, I'm somebody that much prefers my antagonist to live in the shadows anyway. Obviously, that is more in line with a Michael Myers because that's part of the character. Jason, you don't have to do that. But I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it, especially because, we don't know how this mask is going to, they released the mask online, social media, and everybody's like, no, this looks shit, and everybody's, it's crap and all that. And so, maybe we should light it and make it look really cool because I'll be honest with you, okay? Hey, going back to the original Halloween, I love it. It's my favorite horror movie of all time, Michael Myers. But, that mask looks badass because of the lighting. And I think we've gotten so used to the indie mask makers the indie Michael Myers mask makers weathering the mask and shading the mask to look like how Dean Cundey lit the mask. But the mask that you get from these indie mask makers, or even at a Trick or Treat Studios, even some of the mass-produced ones are somewhat weathered. That's not how it, well, maybe the 18 masks, perhaps. But certainly the original Michael Myers mask from 1978, in just broad daylight, all Tommy Lee Wallace did was tore off the eyebrows, cut the eye holes, and the sideburns, and just spray painted it white. He didn't do any like detailing on it, right? And so the reason the mask looks so cool, and you can see some of like the depth and the shade, is because of how Dean Cundey and his gaffer and his team lit it. So when it comes to this mask, right, I kind of feel like maybe they're playing a little bit the same way. We know that it's a new mask we've sprung on to people. The eye holes are a little more square. They're a little larger. Some people don't mind it. Others are like, the vitriol, right? And they're like, you know what, let's light this thing. Let's light this thing, because some BTS shots of the mask, you kind of go, but in the like, it looks not that, it looks pretty good. So I thought the mask looked all right. And I thought Jason looked all right. I thought he looked pretty good. The only thing that I noticed, and I didn't find out till after the fact, was I thought Jason looked, some people are going to say he didn't look broad enough. I agree. But there were moments where he didn't look big enough or tall enough. He just looked like a regular guy, like maybe 5'10", 5'11". And that could come down to camera placement. It could come down to lens choice. It could come down to, how you decide to show the character. But unbeknownst to me at the time of watching it, I saw a social media post from Vincent DeSanti, shout out to Vin, who was actually at the premiere put on by Angry Orchard last night with the crew and the cast, and he got his photo taken with the new Jason. His name escapes me. My apologies. Chat room can let me know. But apparently now look, I'm only 5'8". Okay, I'm 5'8", like 155 pounds. So everybody's bigger than me. But Vin is like 6'3". You put on boots and he's like 6'4". I mean, Vin's not a small guy. Okay. And this new Jason is actually 6'6", 230 pounds. That might surprise some of you, but there is a photo of him and Vin at the premiere on Vin's social media, and Vin looks significantly shorter. And Vin's, if you've met Vin, he's not a small dude. Again, I mean, everybody to me is big, but he's not. I mean, 6'3", that's a big dude. And so this new Jason, that might surprise some of you to learn, he's 6'6". You put boots on him, and he's probably 6'7". Maybe 6'8". I don't know. I don't know if that's 6'6" in like bare feet. I would assume so. You put boots on him and he's probably 6'7". I mean, he's a big guy, but I think the issue, he's not broad. He's not a broad guy necessarily, just a tall guy. But I never got that. I think they did this character. If he's 6'6", which he obviously is, the evidence is in the photo, I think they did his size a disservice. That I will say. Because I mean, look, Derek Mears is what, 6'7", right? So like an inch taller. At no point in the remake of Friday the 13th do you ever feel, like you always feel that he's a big guy. He's a big dude, right? And that, again, that comes down to a variety of things. So I felt a little, I was surprised to learn that. I was like, he's 6'6"? Like, geez, that's a big dude. And maybe it's because they didn't have enough moments of him, maybe with people that were significantly, to give it some scale, perhaps. Again, it could come down to lighting, camera placement, lens choice. There's a variety of reasons, but nonetheless, I was surprised to learn that. So that would be my only, really, honest to goodness, my only complaint with Jason is learning after the fact that this guy's 6'6", 230 pounds, and he doesn't appear that way in the vignette. And so I think that was a disservice. I think you really want to exemplify that. You really want to showcase it. This is a big dude, But other than that, I didn't have any issues with them at all. I thought the motorboat, I thought that kill was, some people probably thinking something else when I say that. The engine from the motorboat, let me phrase it like that. That kill was good. It was gnarly. It was good. And so let's talk. Okay, so we got the Jason out of the way. The mask, didn't mind it because it was lit in dimly lit light, and I think it works in that regard. So it looked better than I thought it was going to. So I didn't really have any issues there. The music I thought was great. I thought the music was great. You're seeing a lot of people say that the music, was great. The music was great. Very reminiscent of the old school, which of course, we like. What else? The kills I thought were good. There was somebody that reached out to me, or not reached out to me, but some people I've seen online that were disappointed that some of the kills were off screen. Most of the kills were off screen. I think it's important that we understand that it is not unprecedented for a kill in a Friday the 13th franchise. In a Friday the 13th movie to be off screen. Yes, you normally see them on screen, but if you watch some of those older, the original films, you might get something to the face and then it quickly cuts away. So, it's a lot of the old school Friday the 13th kills were borderline on screen because they had to deal with the MPA ratings, right? And so, you couldn't show too much. Friday the 13th Part 7 was a huge, casualty of that. And so, but it's also important to understand too that I thought the effects looked really good. The hanging of the bodies on the clothesline, a little cheesy, but still really cool. The effects looked good. Like I had no issues with, the effects. But you also have to understand this is a 13-minute movie. And if you want kills on screen, there's setup, there's execution, there's payoff, and there's discovery, right? And so, you have to build suspense for these moments, and then you have to have the kill, and then you have to have, the payoff, which is the effects, you know what I mean? And then you have to have somebody discover them, and that takes time. So, there's only so much you can do in 13 minutes. And somebody said, well, it should have been longer. Well, that's the point of a vignette. Look up the definition of a vignette. That's why they're calling it a vignette. It's, for all intents and purposes, a very short film. It's a glorified Super Bowl commercial. That's what this is. And so when you look at it from that perspective, it's fine. There's nothing. I had no issues with it. Some people said, yeah, but they didn't build up, wasn't enough time to, because it's 13 minutes. Yeah, but I've seen short films where they build up and they do all yes, but if you want, like with this, do you want build up and something to care about and a little bit of payoff, or do you want a little bit of build up and more payoff? And I think they chose, let's just kind of get right into it. We're going to jump right into it. Here's a girl. She's married. She, is engaged to this guy and bum, go. You know what I'm saying? Because that's really, and let's be honest, that's, if you had more time, yes, if you had 90 minutes, sure, you could do that. Of course you could. But again, this is 13 minutes. And I saw one guy online too who said, this is an abomination. It is awful. The story is garbage. The characters are surface level. There wasn't anything there. And I'm like, welcome to Friday the 13th. I'm like, Jesus, this is why they want to put more meat on the bone with things like Crystal Lake. This is why this kind of thing for 90 minutes has a very short shelf life. Listen, I watched this and thought this is Friday the 13th. This is Friday the 13th in a micro little mini package. This is exactly what it is. Kids traveling in a car, going to the camp, strange weird guy, be careful out there, and then Jason shows up. This is Friday the 13th. This is what you wanted. The issue is that of course it's 13 minutes, right? So it's not long enough. Yeah, but Dave, I want it in like 90 minutes. I want more. I get that. But this is what it is. So to complain that other characters, but this is why I say listen, I love the Friday the 13th movies. I love them. I have no issues with them. I love them. I'm 46 years old. I grew up with them. I grew up through the 80s as a young kid. I love Jason, love the Friday the 13th movies, but they are B-movie schlocky nonsense, and it's the same movie over and over and over again until you get to about 6, right? And then it starts to get a little interesting, I mean, this is what this is. This isn't rocket science. Now, a lot of people say, well, yeah, exactly. So why haven't there been more movies? And I say, well, because there's no longevity in that today. Studios can't you might be able to get one movie out of that, but like I always say, you can't get 4 movies like that. You can't do Friday the 13th Part 3 5 times in 2025. There's got to be more to it, but you can do it with a vignette. You can do it with something small, short film, get right to the point, stay, you're doomed. Yeah, you can do that because it's short and, So I think it's perfect in that sense. It's perfect in that sense. And they added a little something interesting, right? The girl gets pulled into the water. She suddenly she rises. Some people miss this. She rises when it's dark out, and I thought, oh, that's kind of weird. Is that a continuity? No, let me see here. What's going on? And then it became very clear the way they did her makeup on her. She's undead. Like she's back from the dead, like how Jason came back from the lake. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I have no evidence that is exactly what they were doing, but to me, that effectively is what I that they were communicating. And of course, and then she comes in and she's looking, and that's why she survives that machete to the, by the way, spoilers alert, but I think that's probably self-explanatory. Why she gets that machete to the chest and she survives, right? Because she's undead. You know what I mean? And then at the very end, she takes revenge out on her friend who was cheating on her with her fiance and all that kind of stuff. And so in many ways, the sweet revenge is about her. It's not really about Jason. She comes back from the dead to get revenge. I mean, she didn't know she was being cheated on at that time, but she seeks out that revenge because she's able to, because she's undead and there's no consequences. Whatever. I'm probably reading too much into it now, but I thought that was kind of a cool angle. I thought that's good, and it's perfect for a little vignette. It's perfect. Some people have said, well, listen, if they're not going to make any more and they're not going to do any more, then it's dog shit. I've seen some people say that online, and I'm like, well. But this is a vignette. This is just a glorified Super Bowl commercial. They might make more if, Angry Orchard wants to put in more money and make more, maybe, and do a series of ads, perhaps, and continue the story. Sure, maybe they'll do that. Maybe they're waiting to see how this plays. Maybe they're waiting to see how, the larger fan base takes to it, and what they want to do with it. I mean, there are what are called ad campaigns, right? I know a bit about that as a voice actor. I've been on many ad campaigns in my life. And so maybe they have no plans, or maybe loose plans. We'll see how this goes. And if it's a really big hit, maybe we do a few of these. So maybe there's something more they want to do with it. I don't know. But even if they don't do anything with it, I get it. Like I get what this is. It's just fun. It's just hey, this is really cool. And I think, though, where the issue... So anyway, I like Jason, like that they kept the mask. I just wish they would have leaned into his 6'6", 230 stature. Yeah, in case you're just joining us, believe it or not, the guy who played him is 6'6", 230 pounds, didn't get that. Mask I thought was good. That kill and all that was good. The girl undead, that was kind of cool. The music I thought was great. Even the guy who played proverbial, you're all doomed guy, the guy he was good too. I liked him. Very subtle, nuanced, It played out exactly how I thought it was going to play out. And this is what I want to say to Friday the 13th fans. Listen, I understand you're hungry. You want something. You want a movie. You want, we'll see what the Crystal Lake series is like. You want Jason fully back. You want to feel like it's 1987 again. You want to feel like you're getting these movies and Jason's back and all this. I understand that. I do. As a Halloween fan, I understand that. And I'm a Friday fan. But, I'm sorry. This was not an abomination. It was not a pile of shit. It was not garbage. It was not... the worst piece of shit. I mean, I think that's hyperbolic. I don't think there's anything here that has embarrassed the Friday the 13th name or embarrassed the Friday the 13th franchise. If you haven't watched some of the original Friday the 13th movies in 20 years, maybe you should go back and watch them because they are B-movie schlocky nonsense. And that's what this was. And so, you know, I'm like, yeah, it feels like Friday the 13th. I mean, the Friday, and I say that with love. I say that with love. A lot of those old 80 movies, you know, were that kind of stuff, but especially the Friday movies because it was rinse, you know, repeat. You know, there wasn't a lot of story. I mean, you got a bit of dynamic between the characters, like so-and-so's dating so-and-so and so-and-so doesn't like this, but okay, fine. But really it was just kids at a camp, you know, and so that's what this was. You got what you wanted. The difference is that, of course, because you're emotionally attached to it, like I am with Halloween, right? You analyze, and I totally get that. But it's like Halloween 18, right? You know me, if you follow me for any length of time, you know that I wasn't over the moon with it. But even if you had asked me then, and if you ask me now, do you think Halloween 18 embarrassed the Halloween? Not at all. Not at all. I mean, it's not, I think they probably should have done this or that or whatever the case is. But Halloween 18, even the David Gordon Green trilogy, there was a lot of things I didn't like. Even Halloween Ends. Some of you are going to disagree with me on that. But I don't think there's anything in the David Gordon Green trilogy that would be that has embarrassed the Halloween name. There's creative choices I don't think they should have done, but it's not like we leaned into a Halloween resurrection, you know, or we totally went through, you know, for a loop and did Halloween 5 where it's like, what do we do? How is this the natural step forward after this? And I don't mean Jamie becoming the killer, because that's one of the biggest misconceptions. People just assume, well, you got to do 5 with Jamie the killer. You don't have to do that at all. You don't at all. But anyway, that's a whole other show. So I liked it. I didn't love it. Like, I wasn't like, oh my God, this is amazing. But for what it was, right? For a, 13-minute quote unquote Super Bowl commercial, that's how you have, it was fine. Some people say, yeah, but if this was a fan film, it would be great. But because it's official, it's not. I don't understand. Because it's official, it's not. It's a commercial. We have to remember, this is a commercial. There was product placement. It's a commercial. At the end of the day, Angry Orchard doesn't give a fuck what you think about this as Friday the 13th. They only care if you buy their apple cider. I didn't really like it, but you know what? I see. I'm not trying to. I mean, they hope you like it, of course. I'm not saying. Now I'm being a little bit hyperbolic. Of course, they hope you like it, but at the end of the day, this is a commercial, and this is about getting you to buy their products, and that's what it is. That's what it is. And so, I thought it was fine, but I think a lot of the fan base is so deprived of Jason Voorhees content and of anything Friday the 13th official that this comes along. It feels stilted, maybe. It's not quite what they wanted. Jason looks a little strange. You have to remember as well, that they do not have the rights to use the Voorhees name. They do not have the rights to use the name Friday the 13th. They do not have the rights to use the mask, how it looked in the original series. We have to remember that too. It has to be a bit different. Right? And you can't blame them for, there was a lawsuit going on and then a little bit of over here and a little bit of over here and everybody's got their little bit. And so, they're moving, they're changing things. I don't think the mask, the only thing I would say about the mask is that I might make the eye holes a bit smaller maybe, but maybe that was part of, one of the conditions. No, we can't do that because it would look too, even square smaller would look a little too similar to the circles, smaller. So no, we have to make them a bit big. I mean, there could be all that too, right? And so for what it is, I think it looks fine. And you might say, yeah, but it needed to be better than fine. Not for a 13-minute vignette. You know what needs to be better than fine? A major motion picture Friday the 13th. That needs to be better than fine. A glorified Angry Orchard Super Bowl ad doesn't need to be more than fine. It doesn't. And it is official. This is official. And they're probably, as I said, they're probably killing several birds with one stone. They want to bring Jason back. They want to showcase, this is a test to see how the audience responds to it. They also want to showcase, and let me tell you, everybody in the ad, it's a commercial, but every single person in this ad is auditioning. I don't mean actually auditioning, although you never know, that might be, but every actor, even Mike P. Nelson, the director, is auditioning. Not necessarily literally, but, I can tell you 100% for sure that you would treat this as, well, hey, I get to cut my teeth on this film as the writer, director. If I do a really good job, they might look to me for something in the series. Maybe I get to direct a couple of episodes of Crystal Lake. Maybe they turn to me for, the movie whenever that happens, whatever the case is. So this is a, unofficial audition for him too. This is an unofficial audition for any of the actors in it, including 6'6", 230-pound Jason. Right. And so, there's a lot of things happening with this vignette that the average fan doesn't really think about. And if it's taken well, if it's well received, it doesn't have to blow people away. It's not going to the movie theater. It just has to be, if it's well received. They may do others in an Angry Orchard campaign, or they may not. But I thought it was fine. For what it was, I thought it was fine. I was if this was the official thing, well, no, I can't even judge that because it's 13 minutes. And if this was a 90-minute, 100-minute film, it wouldn't play out this way. There would be more character development in Friday the 13th. But there would be more, right? Instead of spending 30 seconds in the car driving to the camp, you might spend 4 or 5 minutes in the car driving to the camp. There'd be more dialogue, more conversations. You'd get to the camp. You'd get to know the characters a bit more. You'd find out there would be more. So I can't even judge this really. Would this be a great 90-minute movie or not a 90-minute movie? I don't know, because it's not. It was written specifically to be a 13-minute short film. But it is official. It's officially licensed. It's an official thing produced by Jason Inc., right? And is that it? Jason Universe Inc. or Horror Inc. or whoever has the rights. Anyway, it's official. It's official. And so you may not like that, but it is. But treat it like, treat it for what it is. It's just an ad. It's just a commercial. Pretend that you were watching the Super Bowl, right? And this comes on. Now, it probably wouldn't be 13 minutes, but maybe 3 minutes, but pretend that, treat it like that. You'd be going, that was actually really good. Well done, guys. That was really good. But even Angry Orchard and Jason, I think people get too attached to the word official. Like this is somehow, and maybe people might say, yeah, but Dave, you're lowering your expectations. You should have higher standards. It's like, I would with a movie. I would if it was a 90-minute major motion picture theatrically released around the world. I would. It's a commercial that didn't even air on television. It just went to their YouTube channel that has less subscribers than me. Well, they might have more now. I don't know. But it's like, it's okay. And that's not, I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean, it's just a commercial. And I knew that going in. I knew that months ago when they announced it. And so I think I understand the criticism. I understand the critique. I do. And that's fair. And if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. That's how you feel. And I can't take that away. That's how you feel. But I think it's important we remember what this is. This is the first thing out of the gate, and the first thing out of the gate is a commercial. Hey, that was actually kind of fun. Are there things in it I would have done differently? Yes. Finding out that the Jason is actually 6'6", 230 pounds. You do not get that in this movie, in the short at all. I would have, showcased that more, right? Maybe I would have had one other kill on screen, perhaps. But I understand why most of them were off screen. Again, if you want all your kills on screen, that's a longer film. And that no longer becomes a vignette and your budget goes up, right? You know what I mean? Because there's setup, there's payoff, and there's discovery, right? And that takes time for each kill. That could add 3 or 4 minutes to each kill. And so that's why they played it the way they did, because it's a vignette, it's a commercial. And so, I know there might be some people that think I'm lowering my expectations, and I'm really not. I'm simply, I believe I have my expectations in check. If this was a 90-minute movie, again, I can't really judge it, but if this was a 90-minute movie that played out kind of like this, I might be disappointed. Yeah, I'd be like, well, there's so many off-screen kills, and Jason's kind of dark, and, we got to see him at some point, a little more in the, sure, because there's more to, look at. But in terms of this, I thought they delivered what they promised. They didn't, there wasn't a moment where, again, I said this, but I'm going to say it again. I do not believe that Friday the 13th fans, and even hardcore fans, like how, I am with Halloween or something, I don't think you have anything to be embarrassed about at all. I really don't. And I say that as a Friday the 13th fan. I say that as a horror fan. That doesn't mean you have to like it or like everything in it. That's fair. That's totally fair. Different strokes for different folks. But I don't think this is an abomination. I don't think it's embarrassing to the Friday the 13th brand or the character Jason at all. Not at all. Not at all. So all these comments I'm seeing on social media saying it's the biggest piece of shit, it's dog shit, this is crap, this is an abomination, this is embarrassing. I'm sorry. I categorically disagree. I don't know what your expectations were, but this isn't embarrassing. Embarrassing would be a very different 13 minutes. Maybe you didn't get what you wanted, or you hoped it would maybe be a little more, but this isn't embarrassing. Not at all. Not at all. Freddy's dead is embarrassing. Okay. How Freddy is, that's embarrassing. Shout out to Cosplay Chris. He's a big fan, of Freddy's dead. But I mean, I think it's fine. I really do. And the highlights were definitely the music, that one kill with the motor from the boat, the undead girl. I thought that was a nice touch. Our undead final girl ending on a cliffhanger. It's a commercial, right? And so, I would assume that they end with they're about to face off. And since neither of them can be killed, that might be an interesting fight. Or they're going to team up. I don't know. They're going to hug it out and make love in the forest or something. I don't know. But it's like, yeah, it ends. I'm just like, yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's a little short. I'm again, and I don't mean to, and please don't misunderstand me. I don't mean to come across as pretentious or condescending if you are new here. That's not what I'm trying to do. If you truly don't like it and you can back up your reasons why and it didn't land for you, that's totally fair. That's totally fair. Art is subjective. And so what will work for you may not work for me. What works for me may not work for you. Totally. There's nothing wrong with that. I just am a little perplexed at the hyperbolic statements that I'm often seeing where I'm just kind of like, it wasn't that bad. Like, I'm like, it was fine. Like, it was just a little short film that they did a really good job with, and yeah, but this is official. Yeah. Well, I expected, it's $1 million commercial. It's a commercial. It's a commercial. We have to remember that. This isn't a $20 million commercial. It's a $1 million commercial, or however much it costs. And so, yeah, I didn't mind it. I thought it was all right. Folks, if you're watching after the fact, jump into the comment section and let me know your thoughts on Sweet Revenge. Anything in there, whether you agree with me or you disagree with me, jump into the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. I would like to know. I want to go over to the chat room now and see what all of you are saying about this, because I want to know what you think of Sweet Revenge. Now, a couple of super chats and a member chat did come in, so let me get that. I wonder why that's not. Oh, there we go. Just took a minute. The Violator 862, been a member for 10 months, says, I thought it was just okay. The music and kills were great, but everything else was pretty lackluster, especially the ending. And then he follows up with a $10 super chat. Thank you. Says, saw some guy on Instagram yesterday night saying he is done with Friday franchise after this woke garbage. Oh, thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for bringing that up. There is absolutely nothing in here that is woke. What the hell in here is woke? I don't understand. Was there something I missed? Was there something? And like, I don't like, folks, you've got to stop using that word. That doesn't mean that there isn't a problem with things like that. I'm not going to say that that doesn't exist. But stop reading stuff online, taking it as a buzzword, and using it incorrectly. Just because you don't like something, or just because maybe there's a gay couple in something, or there's, a reference to something, doesn't make it woke. You know what's woke? When the message, the woke message, supersedes the movie, like Black Christmas 2019. That was a political message with a movie attached to it. Now, they should have every right to make that movie. That's the difference. We live in a world where there are gay people and gay couples. That's just what it is, right? And if they appear in a movie, fine. If Philadelphia came out today, would we be going, whoa, garbage? It's one of the best movies ever made. Again, I'm not saying that wokeism doesn't exist. I'm just saying you can't call the slightest little mention or the slightest little reference to something. You can't then say it's Jesus Christ. If everything's woke, nothing's woke. You know what I'm saying? There was nothing woke about this at all. Nothing. Literally nothing. Zilch. Zero. Nada. I didn't walk away going, Jesus Christ, stop beating me over the head with that. But I did with Black Christmas 2019. I was like, okay, I get it. Like, Jesus. You know what I mean? There's nothing woke about this. Stop that nonsense. Anyway. God. Brandon Collins sends in $5 and says, Angry Orchard is okay, but the best is Dickens Cider. I've had neither, but I might look into it. Thank you, Brandon, one of our great mods here, of course. Frank Riker! Frank Riker sends in a you didn't have to do that, Frank. Thank you, but thank you that you did. I'm offended. Where's the obese? Where's the obese can't run dude? Due to webbed feet missing, the right testicle, double D breasted, narcoleptic, dandruff-ridden, bow-legged, overbite, eczema, ginger-haired Jason. Let's not shame any groups here. I don't know, Frank. I have no idea. There was somebody here, too. I saw online as well. Somebody said, there were no boobs. It's a commercial. Yeah, but it was for YouTube. You could have done it. It's still attached to the Angry Orchard product. Yeah, but they still had bloody kills. Yeah, it's a little different. Yo, it fucking sucks. There were no tits. We're the tits. We're the titties. It's a commercial. Jesus. Okay, so thank you, Frank. I really appreciate that. Power Packers 280. Power Packers 280. Power Packers 90 sends in a member chat. Thanks, buddy. Says, hey, Dave. Yeah, it's a good short film. Forgettable, maybe, but it's not horrible. I mean, it's not a 90-minute beer commercial, but for YouTube short film, it's passable. Well, of course. I don't know what people were. Personally, I think it's more than passable. Forgettable? Sure, I guess. But I mean, I think I think what it comes down to, and I understand it. I say this with love because I do understand it. As a Halloween fan, I get it. We Halloween fans, we get it. But like I said, I'm in my mid-40s. I grew up with the franchise, Friday the 13th. So I was there when when it was original shit, right? And so I understand that I think there's such a people are so malnourished and so thirsty for something Jason, for something Friday the 13th. I mean, you're crawling through the desert. You're, 54 pounds. Your bones are showing and you're crawling through, and you're seeing, oh God. It's been 16 years since that '09 film. And you're just desperate. So any glimmer of hope, anything Jason, I hope this is it. Please show me. And even if, and so your expectations are so high that even if it's just, good, like it's fine, like I think this vignette is, it's not good enough because you're so thirsty, you're so malnourished, you need a gigantic meal. You need a big meal. But that was never going to be this way. It's like saying, hey, there's a snack over there on the other side of that sand dune. Oh, there is. Oh, and being really pissed off that it wasn't a gourmet meal. Well, yeah, but you were told it was going to be a snack. There's only so much I can give you with a snack. I can't give you, but it's going to tide you. Hopefully you'll like it enough that it'll tide you over. It was kind of fun. Let's go to it. I can crawl on now. I can crawl on, and that's how I kind of think of this. I'm like, hey, it's a nice little, thing that should tide us over until the series. Right. And like I said, maybe Angry Orchard has plans to do more. Maybe they're going to start an ad campaign. I don't know. But I am admittedly, and again, I say this with all due respect because I love you guys. I am a little surprised and take it back, not by those that are, talking normally, and are able to defend their positions. I just mean the vitriol, like some of the backlash, some of the hyperbolic. I'm just like, what the hell were you expecting? And like I said, that one guy, the characters were underdeveloped. It was so shallow. And, have you seen Friday the 13th? I think how soon we forget the original films were B-movie schlocky nonsense. They wouldn't even hit theaters today if they came out. They'd be buried in the horror section on Netflix, and you'd run across and go, what's this piece of shit? It's true. And I say that with love because I love them. But that's what they are. The acting was never great. There was no plot. There were no stories. Again, there were micro, things between. I'm talking about the first few films, obviously. Obviously, when you get to 6, 7, yeah, they try to expand it. I get that. But in those first 4 or 5 movies, obviously there's a plot, okay? But I mean, they're not deep. It's not deep character development. It's just, they're plot-driven films. They're not character-driven films. It's just a means to get from A to B to C to D. And you just put people at a camp. And that worked in the 80s. It worked in the 80s because it was the 80s. But that's not going to work in 2025. This sweet revenge for 90 minutes, again, maybe you get that for, but you can't bring Jason back. If, again, I say this, and I say this with all due respect, if you think there is a viable future for the Friday the 13th franchise with Jason movies like the 80s films, longevity, like say they just remake them, Friday the 13th, part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you think we're going to get that again in 2025, longevity, I think you're out to lunch. I really do. It's not the same culture. It's not the same vibe. Horror is not in the same space. The slasher genre is not in the same space. And audiences are smarter. It needs to be more than just teens, tits, and blood. It has to. That doesn't mean you can't have that as well, but you can't just have that. And because there's no longevity in that, you could get one out of it because you're thirsty, right? And audiences are hungry. But general movie-going audiences are not going to go back to see that 5 times in a row. They're just not. And these films don't rely just on the fan base. They rely on the general movie-going audience. The David Gordon Green trilogy made $500 million at the box office, not because of Halloween fans. We're a part of it. We're a very important part of it. But it was because it did so well that it started to appeal to non-Halloween horror fans, Halloween time, releasing. But even they were diminishing returns. And then, the release on day and date on, online and digital and then Halloween ends. And then, there's no longevity in that, folks. It's a very, very different time. And so, if you want Jason back and just teens, tits, and blood at a camp, these vignettes may be your best bet. But if you want it back, if you don't want him to disappear like he did in 2009, then there needs to be more meat. There needs to be more meat on the bone. There needs to be something there. I don't mean a pretentious cerebral thing. I just mean what they're doing with Crystal Lake, presumably, right? Not what they did here with the vignette. There's nothing here. And it serves its purpose well because it's 13 minutes, right? But this was very Friday the 13th. What you saw in this 13 minutes is what all those old early Friday the 13th movies were. You just saw it in a micro 13-minute package, right? And so, minus the undead girl, of course. But I mean, yeah, anyways, I digress. But I agree, totally. I agree. Let me see here. Simon Mills says, Dave, you are getting too soft these days. Can't be talking sense all the time. Where the hell is ranting Dave gone? I like that guy. Joking aside, we need to all calm down to kill the hype. Yeah, well, look, I've been called everything under the sun, right? I mean, I've been called a Blumhouse shill, and I'm like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, a Blumhouse shill. Blumhouse? I don't even know what that means. I mean, I know what it means, but I don't even know what that means. I know what it means, but I don't even know what it means. Anyway, so no, it's truthfully how I feel. I always tell the truth on this channel. I am not one of those people, and there's a lot of channels out there that do them, that are part of the culture wars that spend their entire lives bitching and moaning and bitching and moaning. They back themselves into a corner where even if they liked a movie, they suddenly found themselves surprised in liking the movie. They can't then go on their channel and say that they liked it because they've created an identity and they can't go against the identity. And that's not how I work here. If I think something's shit, I'll tell you it's shit. If I think it's really good, I'll tell you it's really good. If I think it's mediocre, I'll tell you it's mediocre. I like the Barbie movie, and I don't give a frog's fat ass whether you agree with me or not. I don't care because I liked it. I didn't love it. I just understood what it was. I didn't go in expecting to watch something for me. I went in and I actually laughed quite a few times and thought it was funny. Sure, there was a little, a little woke, but it didn't bother me because it leaned into the absurdity of it. It played into the absurdity of it because the entire thing is absurd. The entire thing that these dolls come, it's absurd. It's satirical. The whole thing is satirical. And I think that's why it didn't bother me. I'm a big Avatar fan. Big Avatar fan. That's not the cool thing to say. I didn't hate Halloween Ends. I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was great. It's not what I would have done, but there's things about it that I do like. But I also don't like it as much as some people do. But there's things I don't like as well that I won't be afraid to say. So, I'm still me. I'm still me. I just, I think people got used to me ranting about Halloween 5 and Halloween Resurrection and taking that as evidence of, like I still rant about movies. I just will rant about movies I also like or movies I don't like or, whatever the case is. But I'm still me. I know you're just being facetious, but I've been accused of that. Oh, you're too soft. Too soft? No. How am I? This is how I feel. This is exactly how I feel. And as long as I can back up my arguments, and as long as I can back it up with facts of how I feel, then it's an argument I will stand with. And I believe that most of the people calling this the worst piece of shit they've ever seen have never seen a piece of shit. Because we live in an era where things are either 10 out of 10 or it's shit. If I give a movie a 7.5 out of 10, that's a great score. It's a great score. Now, it might depend on the movie or your expectations, okay? But a 7 out of 10 is great. That means basically 7 out of every 10 people enjoyed it. But we live in a world where a movie getting 70% on Rotten Tomatoes is somehow, like the expectations of fandom and critics and numbers and splatters versus, critically acclaimed and certified fresh. And it's obscure. There's no nuance anymore. There's none. It doesn't exist. We've been programmed and manipulated to look at it this way. It's how we've been programmed. It's this or it's this. And it's just not. Sometimes there's a lot of things to discuss. But especially if you're young, if you're like 20, 22, 23, you probably have grown up in the era where, you know, it's you give a movie a 8 out of 10 and somebody says, why didn't you like it? What do you mean, why didn't I like it? It's 8 out of 10. Yeah, but it's not 10 out of 10, bruh. Fuck. Anyway, I digress. But, yeah, I agree with you. The Violator 862 says, I think the short did what it set out to do. Exactly. Sell Angry Orchard and officially bring Jason Voorhees back. That's what they did. Brandon Barry says, wait a minute, did I? No, that's right. Brandon Barry says, Dave, what's your thoughts on theaters like AMC having 30 minutes of previews before the movie? Thanks. I mean, I get it from a business perspective. Of course. No, I think it's nonsense. I think 30 minutes, and I don't want this either, but I would rather watch 30 minutes of trailers, but there's no advertising in that. It's all about advertising. It's all about, I mean, that's how they make their money, or some of their money. So I do understand it, but I think 30 minutes is far too long. Far too long. I think 5 minutes is fine. Well, 10 minutes, because let's be honest. I mean, you know, 10 minutes is fine. 10 minutes is fine. Five to 10 minutes is fine. And then you get to the trailers, you know, and you show maybe 3 trailers, you know, but, I mean, I remember back in the day when there were no commercials, when the movie would show a trailer or 2 and then it would just start. Literally, there were no ads, none, like 0. And of course that's not the way it is. And now it's like watching television. It's like watching TV. And I didn't pay to watch, I didn't pay to be shown all this shit. That's not why I'm here. And so, yeah, I don't think it's ever going to go away, but I think you could dial it back, because if it's 30 minutes now, what is it going to be in 5 years? An hour? Like, I mean, what are you doing? Like, what's the end game here? Right. So I think you need to dial it back and cap it off. Yeah, for sure. For sure I do. But money talks and bullshit walks. Josh McKenna sends in $9.99. Thank you, Josh. He says, Dave, do you believe in psychics? People, I don't know what the hell is it. People who claim they can predict the future, like saying someone is destined to marry a certain person and have a family, or delivering a message about someone's life, etc. It's a loaded question, Josh. I'll just say that, do I believe in psychics? I believe in the phenomena, yes. And I believe that there is something, not necessarily telling like fortune tellers telling your future, but I do believe that there is enough, again, circumstantial evidence at the very least to point to that mediumship, that there may be something to it. And again, to dive into it would just take way too long. That's a whole different topic. But I think there is possibly something to the phenomena. Yes. That doesn't mean that every psychic is genuine. There's a lot of, fish oil salesmen out there as well. But that doesn't mean itself that just because there are a lot of people that are bullshit, that doesn't necessarily, and just because you can replicate a lot of this through the cold reading technique, doesn't in and of itself automatically mean that it is all bullshit. Although some people do believe that. I don't. So I think there is something to the phenomena, but that's a different show altogether. So I'll just say that. But thank you for the super chat, Josh. I appreciate it very much. Microsoft 4570 sends in $5. Says, do you think the Halloween End story could have worked better as a what if episode where Corey discovers that he's Jamie Lloyd's son from H6? Thanks. I don't even think you need to do that. I think the Halloween End story is a great story, but it's the wrong story for Halloween Ends. If I had been in the writer's room and that was pitched, now I might have been vetoed out. I mean, I might have been, voted out. But I would have spoken up and I would have said, I actually really like this story. Because what is the story about? It's about a young kid. He's 18, he's an all-American kid, good looking, probably got a bright future. He's babysitting and this horrible, tragic accident happens. And because Michael Myers is gone or dead or, whatever, we don't see this, but he presumably goes to trial. He's found innocent. He goes back to his hometown and the town is still reeling from the effects of Michael Myers. Myers and the, it's all that shit. And they see him as a potential new Michael Myers, even though he's not. And really what it is the residual effects, the bullying and the behavior from the town have basically have turned him into an evil person, not any sort of supernatural thing, but that bullying and that constant barrage, of bullshit just spew towards this poor kid, ironically, because the town is suppressing, they're not facing the fears. They're not facing their reality of what they're known for, facing Halloween, facing the guilt, the trauma, all that kind of stuff. And so ironically, that suppression and not facing that and bullying this kid ironically brings Michael, quote unquote, back, right? Another killer, another person. It's a great story. And you don't need Michael Myers in that story. You don't need him in it. As I've often said, Halloween Ends was actually pretty good, ironically, until Michael Myers showed up. You don't need him in it. And so I think the Corey Cunningham story is a great anthology story. It's a great episode, like a hour-long episode. Like if they ever did like an anthology series, right? You could do, well, not now, but you could have done the Corey Cunningham story. You could have done the Charlie Bowles story. You could have done a Season of the Witch thing. Maybe a Halloween 4 Part 2. Like you could have done those things. And so I've always thought that it would have made a great anthology thing. Your idea, I don't know if I'd go that far because now you're tying in Halloween 6 and for me, I would want to stay as far away from anything Halloween 6 as humanly possible. But that's me. That's me. I wouldn't want to do that. But that's me. Let me see here. Have I got all these super chats? I believe I do. What are others saying? Evil Alex says, good story over a span of movies with good kills and characters could give Friday the 13th a chance at the theaters. Absolutely. And what you're saying right there is the operative word is story. And you need more meat on the bone. You do. People, again, because we live in a black and white world where things are either this or it's that or it's yes or it's no or it's up or it's down or it's left or it's right. People miss the fact that when people talk about putting more meat on the bone, we don't say, we don't mean turning Friday the 13th into Hereditary, but people automatically go there. They go to that route. And it's like, no, there's many, as I've said, the Friday series was B-movie schlockiness in all the great ways, but that's what it was. And so you just have to lift it up a little bit. You just have to put just a little bit more meat on the bone. I don't mean turning it into some cerebral, pretentious nonsense. I just mean you put more meat on the bone. And then that's something that more general movie-going audiences can also glom onto, and you appeal to a broader audience, a broader base. You might get new fans on board because of it. And you have to do that in today's climate. You can't just do Friday the 13th 3 over and over again in 2025. It ain't going to happen. And that's why they're not doing that. There's reasons why they're doing it this way. And I'm not talking about the vignette. I'm talking about the series. There's reasons why they've decided to do this, and with A24 on board, there's bound to be more meat on the bone. But the goal, look, if it is a pretentious, like really highbrow, I'll be the first to say it. I'll be the first to come on here and go, what the hell was this nonsense, right? But I don't think that's what it's going to be at all, because they understand we can't remove the Friday the 13th DNA. We can't do that, but we also have to put more meat on the bone and try to, appeal to 2025 audiences. It's not just about appealing to our, 6-year-old selves in the 80s or our 13-year-old selves in the 80s. Yes, we matter, but it's not just us. It's not just us. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Let me see here. Josh, another $9.99. Thank you, Josh. And says, why do people say Weapons is a comedy? I saw both Freakier Friday and Weapons. I laughed my ass off with Freakier Friday. When I saw Weapons, spoiler alert, I didn't laugh once. There were no jokes. No. Well, Darren and I and Frank from the Slaughtered Lamb, we talked about this on my show the other day. I think it really comes down to, I agree with you. I would not classify, I am astounded that people think Weapons is hilarious or classified as a black comedy. I don't think it's that at all. I think there are humorous moments, but I chuckled, especially at, Brolin's, what the fuck, because we've all been there, right? Having like a crazy dream. But it wasn't like I'm watching Ace Ventura. I mean, this movie's not going to wind up in the comedy section on Netflix, although Netflix, you never know. But I think it comes down to the audience you see it with. I saw it during a matinee, 30, 40 people in there. If you see it during a packed house with 250, 300 people, maybe would be different. But I still don't think I am still perplexed at those calling this a horror comedy. I've seen horror comedies. This isn't a horror comedy. There are humorous moments. Yes. I'm not saying there aren't, but I would never classify this anything other than a horror film, a psychological horror film. 100%. First and foremost. I would not even, if somebody was like, describe it to me, I would never go, well, it's really scary and really fucking hilarious too. I would never describe it that way, ever. Never. If they come back to me and go, yeah, you're right, dude, it was really, really creepy. And you know what? I actually kind of thought it was kind of funny too. I'd go, oh, yeah. No, I get what you're saying. But I would never be like, hey, prepare to be scared and prepare to go, woo! What? What are you talking? We saw two completely different movies, but that's me. So yeah, no, I don't know. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Microsoft says $5. Thanks, buddy. Says, I just also want to say thank you for all the content, man. Hearing you talk about Port Robinson Road has given me a lot of inspiration lately. Amazing. Thank you. Great segue. Speaking of which, this is where people tune out. No, but speaking of which, let's go over to the other screen and see where we're at. This, of course, is the development campaign for the house on Port Robinson Road. Look at, whoa. Sorry about that. Holy cow. I was really hot there. Coming in hot on that microphone. That's better. There we are. $10,880 Canadian, 54%, 122 backers, 31 days left. That's going to change to about 30 days left in just a couple of hours, or maybe even an hour. We are 1 month left from the end of the campaign. I would love to get this to 60% by the end of the weekend, if at all possible, folks. That would mean a lot to me. We are sitting at... I know. Thank you, Darren. We are sitting at 10,880. Showing for those of you that are just tuning in or may not know what this is a development funds campaign for a original psychological horror drama that I am in development on. My first feature-length film that I have written that I plan to direct. It is inspired by true events from my second year of college. It deals with the supernatural and the paranormal. Yes, this is not a found footage movie. This is a full-on narrative film. This is development funds that I am raising. And so these funds don't go directly to the production budget, but they do go towards developing it further beyond the script stage. So the base goal is 20,000 Canadian. I do have two stretch goals as well, but I didn't know how well this campaign was going to do. So I thought, let me actually just put myself down here. So I thought I would set it, reasonably on the lower end to see if we can get there. And I think that was a good choice that I made. 31 days left, 54%, 10,880. Folks, could we get to 55%? That's only like $120. Could we get to 55% by the end of the show today and make this go to 11,000 Canadian? Again, a lot of the prices that you're going to see on the campaign, because most of my viewers are from the US, you will see it more cheaply. So you will see it in US dollars. So what you're seeing here are Canadian dollars. And by the way, this image right here, this amazing poster is now on the campaign. You can get it signed or you can get it unsigned. I made a promise that as soon as we hit 50%, this poster would go on the campaign, and it is there. Also, you can get all 3 posters, by the way. All 3 posters you can get, all 3 concepts. They're concepts. Like, I would love, these to be maybe official artwork when the movie is all done and being distributed, but I might not be in charge of that, so I don't know. I will definitely fight for a minimalist approach. But we'll see where this movie ends up. I have no idea. But I love the concept posters. I'm going to actually bring up another image for you. On the campaign, I have also put up a 3-pack. So there is a 3-pack that is available as well. And you can get, whoa, that's coming in hot. 1 second. You can get all 3 of the concept posters. There they are. You can get all 3 of them in a 3-pack on the campaign. So pretty cool indeed, if I do say so myself. And they are signed. They will come signed. I will sign each one for you as well. And I think by picking up all 3 rather than purchasing 3 individually, I think you save 20%, I think. About 20%, something like that. Something like that, anyway. So that's on the campaign as well if you want to pick up all 3, or maybe not. Maybe you just want to pick up one and you want to pick up that one, or any of the others as well. You can pick them up individually as well. And I also want to sell out. I'm reminding you again, we have 44 people that have picked it up. 44 people that have picked it up. The Bloodbath double feature, folks. The Bloodbath double feature. This right here on Friday, October 31st, Halloween night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, limited to 100 people. I am doing a Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and Halloween Kills watch-along party Halloween night. Now, even if you can't make it, you're trick-or-treating, you got a Halloween party, you can still support the campaign by picking up this perk, because you will be emailed the link to the show and you'll be able to watch it after the fact. So you can watch it later that night, or maybe you'll tune in late and there'll still be like, you can catch the last movie, but then you can go back and watch the first movie. You know what I'm saying? You'll have the link forever because you purchased it. So you'll have the link. You can go back and watch it, but it's limited to 100 people. It is $50 Canadian. It's $50 Canadian, but that's only about $37 US. That's the perk right there. I would love to sell this out. I don't think there's any reason why we can't. You only have 30 days left, folks. It's limited to 100 people. Is this show live right now? It is live right now. Yes, it is. Why would you think it's not? I don't know. Maybe because I'm talking about the campaign. It is live. If you want to watch my thoughts on Sweet Revenge and you're just tuning in, you have to go back and just scroll the cursor back and watch from the beginning. $50 Canadian, about 36 US, about 25 pounds. I really want to sell this out. I want to get as many people into there as possible, limited to 100, of course, but I want to get you guys in there. Halloween night, I'm going to be dressed up. We're going to be eating Halloween candy, watching Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and Halloween Kills. Why these 2 movies? Because when I looked them up online, I found out that these were the 2 most violent, bloodiest of all the Halloween movies. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and Halloween Kills are the 2 most bloodiest, violent Halloween movies in the franchise, according to what I read online. So, come on. You're all Halloween fans. There's still 115 people in here. If you have not purchased it, it would mean a lot to me. If you're looking for a way to, because some people do, some people will reach out to me privately and say, Dave, thank you so much for all the content and, the years of this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. I wish there was something I could do to say thank you. This is a great way to do that. You can pick up this perk, and these funds go towards the development of The House on Port Robinson Road, an original psychological horror drama that I am really excited about, written and directed by yours truly. This is not a fan film. This is not, a sequel to It's Me, Billy. This is an original, IP, original film that likely will cost several million dollars to make. So it is unlikely I will crowdfund this in terms of the production budget, but development funds, I absolutely can. And I would love to be able to, raise the funds. So again, folks, every little bit helps. If you, maybe you don't want to, maybe you want to support, but you don't want to pick up a perk, you can on your phone, when you go to the campaign on your phone, because I will show you here, you can do that as well. Where are we here? Hang on a sec. There we go. So let me just bring this up a bit bigger here. So on your phone, right? On your phone, right? When you go to the campaign, and there's the perks right there, the perks. If you scroll to the end, maybe you're like, well, I'd love to support you, but there really isn't a perk that I want. But I donate like $30 or $40 or, $100, whatever, however big or small you want. You just scroll to the very end like this, and you'll see this little thing right there. See that? I can't really see it, but you'll see that right there. That right there. That one right there. And that just says, make a contribution. And that is not tied to any perks. So you can donate $10, $5, $100, $30, $1,000, whatever you want to donate, you can do that. And it's not tied to any perks. So you don't have to get mailed something you really don't want, but you still want to support. You can do that too. And sometimes people do that. I've already had quite a number of people donate. And so you can do that too. And of course it goes to the development funds for the house on Port Robinson Road. So again, I'd love to be at 60% by the end of the weekend, because again, we're after today, we got less than a month left. And the goal is to get this campaign into in demand, right? And once we get the campaign into in demand, once we reach our goal and it goes into in demand, if you follow me for any length of time and you watch the It's Me Billy Chapter 2 campaign, you know about this. But when it goes into in demand, that means I don't have to launch another campaign if I want to, and be on here launching another campaign if I want to continue to raise funds for some of the stretch goals, right? That means when the campaign ends, it means that it will remain open and people can continue to contribute towards the development and the stretch goals, which is amazing, because if we don't reach our goal, then the campaign closes. And if I want to raise more money, I have to launch another campaign. And oh God, I don't want to do that, right? And so that's why it's so important to get this thing into in demand. And if we can get it into in demand before, there's no reason, we don't have to wait till the 11th hour. We can do it in the next couple of weeks if we want to, right? So, but yes, 31 days left, folks. 10,880 Canadian raised. And I'm hoping to get this to 60% by the end of the weekend. I would love to do that. I don't know if I'm going to, but I would love to do that. Hey! Amazing! Amazing! I love it! We hit 55%. That calls for a celebration. Let me get that, well, I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to overdo it. If we hit 60%, if we, for whatever reason, hit 60% today, then I would do a big celebration. But I gotta, if I do it for everything, then it's no longer a big celebration, right? I was going to hit the music and everything. But nonetheless, 55%. Thank you. You guys are amazing. Let me just go and see who that was, of course. And by the way, I am going to give social media shout outs as well. These are not the official social media shout outs, but I just like to, while I'm live, I like to just kind of say thank you. So we've got Darren. Hey, what's going on? Darren, amazing. Darren picks up the November Files Plus and the Bloodbath double feature. Amazing. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Awesome. And then earlier today, we had Anthony Solano. He picked up the November Files Platinum. Thank you, Anthony. Really appreciate that. And then Larry King Jr. picked up a signed poster, and then a poster pack signed. Amazing. Very cool. From Zach Bischoff. And then I think we get back. And then PJ Wilson. PJ made a very generous donation the other day as well to bring us over the 50% mark. Really appreciate that, PJ. Thank you. And then it goes into the earlier shows from last week. Awesome, Darren. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, man. You didn't have to do that, but you did, and that is amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We've hit 55%. Is it possible that we, yes, over fucking do it. It was me. Oh, it was you. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Fuck it. We'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it for Darren. 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 Fuck it. Darren of the Slaughtered Lamb, ladies and gentlemen. Darren of the Slaughtered Lamb. Mr. Sandsman. Darren, put your link into the chat. Put Mr. Sandsman's link into the chat right now. He's going live later today on Mr. Sandsman. He looks at physical media, but he's not a physical guy. Or maybe he is, I don't know. But he looks at physical media, and he's gonna be looking, what the hell are you looking at today? I can't remember. But you're going live later today. I believe it's at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. BST. That's 2 p.m. Pacific Time on Mr. Sandsman. And yes, co-host of the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast with Frank, but he also runs his own channel. And he's got his own channel, Mr. Sandsman. And he's going live today to talk about some great, juicy stuff. Make sure you check him out and subscribe if you haven't. And by the way, I am 5 subscribers away. Am I still 5 subscribers away? I think I am. Fuck it, we'll do it live. You're right. What am I? I am knocking on 30,000 subscribers. If you are not subscribed to me, I am currently at, I'm 3 subscribers away. I'm at 29,000 after 753 years. I am at 29,997. Surely there is 3 people watching me right now that are not subscribed, that are thinking, I really want to subscribe to this guy. I like this guy. Yeah, he's loud and he's opinionated and he does all these crazy voices. But you know what? I like his energy. He's a good egg. He's a good egg. And I think I'm going to subscribe to him and bring him over the 30,000 mark. Is it working? I don't know. I don't know. But yes. Woo! No, again, really appreciate that, Darren. Thank you. It's good to be here. And so is it possible, folks, that we can hit 60% by the end of the weekend? I think so. We've done it, but we've been having really, really great momentum here. Really great momentum, building that, and 31 days left. It seems like a lot of time, but it goes. And because this is a development campaign, there's not nearly as much excitement around this because, there's no Blu-rays, there's no producer perks. These funds don't go to the actual production budget of the movie. So I understand that. It doesn't feel as tangible. With the Billy films, it wasn't just an idea. There was a cast, there was a crew. We were funding the production budget. We were going to camera, all this kind of stuff. This is a bit different, right? And so I understand that this is, it takes me being on here to be like, come on, guys, we can do it, because I am incredibly proud of the script. I'm incredibly proud of the story. I'm incredibly proud of where the project is at. I'm very excited to, move it forward and I will get this movie made one way or another, and I'm very excited and I want to be able to make this. And it's a dream of mine. I think you guys will really like it. It's full of mood and atmosphere and slow burn suspense, but it's also got, I believe, now again, I understand I'm the writer, director, I'm a bit biased, I get this, but I do believe that it's got heart, and it's also it's emotional, and it's again, it's like I've said, it's like The Others. In terms of tone, it's like, The Others and The Witch and Long Legs, not story. It's a completely different story. But in terms of that moody, atmospheric environment, there's a thunderstorm and lightning and, come on. It's dripping. It is seething with Dave McCrae mood and atmosphere. But it also has an emotional undercurrent to it as well, right? It's a character-driven film. And it's got an emotional undercurrent that I would equate to like, Contact or Arrival, or, it's got more of that deeper kind of, thematic themes, and all that kind of stuff too. And so I'm incredibly proud of it, very excited about it. And I think famous last words. There's the movie you write, the movie you shoot, and the movie you release. But if I can make this movie the way that I have written it, I think you guys will really like it, because I think it's also different. It takes familiar elements, right? It's got the college-aged, characters and the abandoned haunted farmhouse. These are not new elements to the world of horror, but the way that I believe, the way that I've married them together in this kind of a story is unique to this specific subgenre. And I don't quite think it's been done quite in this way before. I'm not here claiming that it's, the greatest thing of all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I think it's not a slasher movie. It's not The Conjuring. That I don't know if that's disappointing to hear or not, but it's not that kind of a movie. But it is scary and moody and atmospheric, and it relies on that, the Dave McCrae mood and atmosphere, but there's some frightening moments in there too. Don't get me wrong. But I'm incredibly proud of it. So every little bit helps in the development of this project. And because, I want to bring a legal team on board. I want to bring a line producer on board to be able to go through the script, figure out exactly, how much this is going to cost. I want to bring other people on board and all that. And so developing a movie past the script stage takes money. And so that's where these funds are going. So every little bit helps. And there's cool perks on there, folks. There's cool perks on there. Like I've said, there's social media shout outs, of course, the concept poster, number 1, which I really love. I love this poster because it exemplifies the more mature, cerebral, elevated, themes of the film. And then we have something a little more mainstream, right? You got and that is the real house, by the way, from my second year of college. That's not a stock image. That's the real house. I mean, I've manipulated it in Photoshop to make it look like that, but that is the house. But this is a little more, a little more mainstream, right? This is more about the evil that lies within. Or the scares that lie within. And then there's more of the otherworldly journey, we'll say, where you have this image here, and I love this poster. But each poster represents something different in terms of how the film can be marketed. In terms of each poster represents a different layer to my film. So if I bring up the poster, if I bring up the 3 here again, each poster. So the first one you see there is representing more of the grief and the mystery of the past, right? I mean, there's a lot in there, but I'm just saying in a very brief sort of sentence, I would say that this is like the grief and the mystery of the past is poster 1. Poster 2 in the middle is, I would call it, the terror of what lies inside. The terror of what lies inside. And inside can mean many different things. And then, of course, the third poster, I would classify it as the metaphysical and philosophical journey beyond what we understand. And so, again, each poster, I created each one to represent a different layer of the movie, essentially, and or the different layers of the film overall, and then also how it could be perceived, how different ways you could market it, right? And so, anyways. But lots of cool things on there, folks. And again, if you're really into ghosts and the paranormal, there are the November Files on here. The November Files, let me see here. You got to open them up. You got to go to them to find out what they are. There's the mystery envelope, which is really cool. The poster 3-pack, there it is there. Only one claimed at the moment. Not the Port Robinson Road street sign. Yeah, I'm going to go over and steal it. A Port Robinson Road street sign, a novelty sign, which I think is really cool. And then there's the November Files. This is a really, really, really cool bunch of perks for people who are really into the paranormal and maybe interested in knowing the story behind the story, finding out the story that inspired the film that I want to make. And so feel free to check those out as well. And again, you're seeing these in Canadian dollars, much cheaper for you in the States and even cheaper for you in the UK as well, because obviously we're our dollar's a little here at the moment. But nonetheless, lots of cool stuff on there. And again, that Bloodbath double feature perk, folks, that Bloodbath double feature perk, I'd love to get this sold out. I would love to get this sold out. If we can get it sold out, it would mean a lot. Let me see here. We are still, we've gone up. We've gone up. Oh, I like to see it. I like to see it. Ooh, look at that. We are literally just $5 away now from 56%. We're $5 away from 56%. We've got to get there, right? We've got to get to 56%, right? We're $5 away. Let me see who that was and give them a thank you. We've got, who was it? We've got Connie Wright. Shout out to Connie Wright. Thank you, Connie Wright. Picked up the Bloodbath double feature. Thank you, Connie. I really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That means a lot. Thank you. So we're just $5 away from the 56%, which would be awesome. Oh, hang on. Some super chats came in here. 1 second. We've got Templar's Creed became a member, level number 1. Thank you, Templar's Creed. Really appreciate that. Thank you for becoming a member. Josh McKenna, $9.99. Thank you, Josh. Josh says, I remember you played We're Not Gonna Make It during the Billy campaign. Are you going to do the same thing here for this campaign? I forgot about that. You're right, I did. No, We're Not Gonna Take It, you mean. I said make it for some weird reason. You said take it. Yeah, we're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not. Oh, I did. Did I play it when we hit the big milestone of 120,000? I can't remember, but I don't know. It feels a little overkill for this campaign. If I was raising funds to actually make the movie and we raised like $5 million, oh my God, there would be a massive party. There'd be a massive party, but that's not going to happen. Let me see here. Templar's Creed sends in 20 pounds. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Says, love your content, mate. I can't wait for the Bloodbath double feature. Awesome, awesome, awesome. UK time and all. Yes, I love it. I love it. You're going hardcore, man. Templar's Creed is going hard. He's like, what? I don't care. 1 a.m.? 1 a.m.? Fuck it. I don't care, man. I don't care. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I love it. I love it. You're going hardcore. Woohoo! Whoop! Or woo hoop. Woo hoop. Woo hoop! We'll be getting some posters too. Awesome. Love it. Just picked up the channel membership. Awesome, man. That means a lot, man. It means a lot. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 30K subs done. Done! Am I at 30K? Am I finally, after all these years, at 30K? I did it right on the button. Now, you know that's going to go down to like 29,998. It's going to like hover around the 30K. But that calls for a celebration. 30,000 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. I did it. 30,000. After 55,000 years of sitting at like 29,000, I finally hit the 30,000 subscriber mark. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. This feels weird to be playing this theme because it's so associated now with crowdfunding, but fuck it. It doesn't matter. Thank you so much for 30,000 subscribers, for being on this channel, for this crazy journey we've been on. Even if we don't agree, that's okay. That's part of the fun. It's always fun. It's always fun. 30,000 subscribers. The next goal is 100. I don't think I'm ever going to get there. But hey, you never know. Hey, if I was a movie reviewer where I reviewed movies, or if I turned my channel into talking about how Disney is dog shit and woke culture is running us rampant, I might be above 100,000 right now. I'm not sure, but I don't think my style Although you never know. You never know. Maybe one day. But thank you. And thank you, Darren, for letting me know, or I wouldn't have known until I got off. But thank you. I really appreciate that. Mendel Goodman sends in a member chat. Thank you, Mendel. Says, what if instead of going back to Halloween 4 Part 2, Halloween Ends finished with after the death of Michael, the film would end with Allison killing Laurie Strode, like with the end of Halloween 4 and then Jamie. I think that would have pissed people off. I don't dislike it, but I don't love it. I think I could see that pissing people off for some reason. Yeah, it would have seemed like because I think people have troubles, and I get it. What are you saying now that Allison's the killer? Do you know what I mean? Like, or do you mean having Laurie evil, like they were originally going to do, and Allison kills Laurie in self-defense? Ooh, that might be interesting. So play into this essence has affected Laurie, and she's got to kill her own grandmother. Oh, I don't think they would have done that either. But that's interesting. That's more interesting to me rather than just Allison becoming evil. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think they would have done either. But it's interesting. It's interesting. Very interesting indeed. We are at still. Oh, yes. Somebody must have just donated $5. I love it. You guys are awesome. We hit 56%. I'm loving it. Let's see who that was. I have a feeling it was Josh McKenna, but maybe not, because Josh sometimes will do that. Let's see if it was him. It was him. I was right. It was him. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you. Just slipping that $5 in there to get us over the hump. But there we are, folks. We are sitting at $11,200 Canadian, 31 days left. That's going to dip down to 30 days in the next, I want to say like the next hour or so. And I would love to be at 60% by the end of the weekend. Because that will be a good spot to be heading into the end of the 4th week or the beginning of the 5th week. Again, this campaign ends in a month. And, we're still, what are we? We're still 44% away. So we gotta, it might seem like there's a lot of time left, but there really isn't a lot of time left. So we gotta keep it going. But let's not forget, folks. Again, if you want to pick up the Bloodbath double feature, that would mean a lot. I always mention that perk only because it's a, where is it here? Because we're all Halloween fans here, and it kind of feels like a no-brainer that, hey, I'd love to support Dave. Yeah, I'll do this. And again, even if you can't make it live, you will still have the link in your inbox, so you will still be able to watch it after the fact. But it's happening Friday night, Friday, October 31st, 2025, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and Halloween Kills Watch Along. Limited to 100 people. We've got 46 people, I believe, right now that have picked it up. Let's see if we can sell this thing out. It's a great price point. It goes to a great cause, right? The development funds. And if we just this perk alone, if we sell it out, just this perk alone will be responsible for $5,000 of the $20,000 we need to raise in order to get the campaign in demand. So just that perk alone. Oh, and by the way, I should say, although I'm sure you've seen it, the link to the campaign is pinned to the top of the chat. So feel free to do that. Yeah. It feels like I've been on longer than I have been. Strange. Thank you hey, congrats on 30K. Thank you very much, Blake. Appreciate that, buddy. Straight Scared Productions, 30,000 is a lot of people crunching one out. 30,000 would be a lot of people crunching one out. Yes, that is, you are correct. You are correct. Indeed. Kevin Morris says, hey, I also got the Bloodbath perk previously or today? Did you pick it up today or did you get it previously? You got it previously, right? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. Or did you get it today? And I didn't mention no, you got it before. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Thank you for that, man. I really appreciate that. Have I got all the super chats? Have I got all the member chats, all the super chats? I just want to make sure that I have. I don't think I've missed any. I got Darren's there talking about the 30K subs. Mandel Goodman. Templar's Creed. I like that name. Yes, I believe I am not missing any super chats. I don't believe so anyway. I don't believe so. So yeah, still 100 people in here. That's not bad. That's not bad. I don't know if anybody else wants to get in on the game. I mean, could we get this thing to, listen, if two more, this is how easy it is for this thing to go up. If just two people right now, if two people, four people, if four people right now picked up the Bloodbath double feature, we'd go from 56% to 57%. That's how easy it is to knock this campaign, or how easy and quickly this campaign can knock upwards if people just start buying the Bloodbath double feature. Because again, it's a great price point, $36 US, about 25 pounds, 26 pounds, somewhere in there, if you're in the UK. And most of my viewers are. I think there's only 4 or 5% of my viewers are from Canada, ironically. Yeah, it's an easy perk to get the numbers up. Templar's Creed sends in another very generous super chat of 20 pounds. Thank you very much. And says, absolutely, bro. Fucking hardcore. Fuck it. I'm going to get another Bloodbath too. Well, there you go. Why not? Fuck it. Do it. Do it. You can gift it to somebody if you want to. Somebody you can gift it. You can gift it, because I have to. I have to gift as well. So if you want to do that, you can do that as well. But I appreciate that. Thank you. Frank says, Dave could sell vacuums to a coal miner. Yeah, well, you know what? I'm not a bad salesman, are I? Let me try that again. I'm not a bad salesman, aren't I? Or am I? Although I have to be very passionate about it. And I am uber passionate about this. This is one of those things where, like I said, the Billy campaigns are legendary now. I mean, they're especially chapter 2. I mean, Jesus, that was just wild, and hitting 120,000. 120,000. And then the campaign topped out at about 150,000. That was legendary stuff. This again is not as exciting, but this project means arguably more to me than the Billy ones do. Not that the Billy ones don't mean a lot to me, they do, but this is, again, my first feature-length horror film, and written, directed by, and inspired by true events from something that is deeply personal to me. And I'm very, very excited about it. Like I said, I think it's a great story, great script. I think I can't say too much without spoiling anything, but I just love the fact that I think by virtue of the story, it subverts expectations a little bit. You're going to think, oh yeah, college kids, farmhouse, oh yeah, slasher movie. And it's not. But that's not to its detriment. It's to its strength. And, there's, I've said this before, there's no sex, there's no boobs, there's no scenes with drugs. And it's not that kind of a movie. I treat the characters as less archetypal and more like real people. So it's taking familiar horror elements, but marrying them together in something you don't usually see with these elements. I'm not saying there aren't psychological horror movies out there that don't do this. I'm just saying that usually when you see, haunted farmhouse, college age characters, immediately you think of a certain kind of horror movie, right? And that's not what this is. And so that might make it harder to sell. But if I can bring me along with it to sell, no, you got to do this. This is why this is so great. This is why this is going to work. This is why this is going to, you know what I'm saying? And so it's going to take me selling it just as much as the idea itself. But I'm passionate and I'm going to do everything I possibly can to get my vision on the screen. Look, obviously, depending on the journey of this project, there will have to be, sacrifices or wheeling and dealing or, however that goes. But, and I'm open to that, of course, but I will not sacrifice the integrity of the story. I can't turn this into something it's not. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to suddenly become like a slasher movie. I can't I'd be like, well, no, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't do that. Like it's not, I'm open to having discussions about certain things, but I can't turn it into something that feels like I am selling out. You know what I mean? That's not, I might have to go the Sylvester Stallone route and hold out, and see what happens. Or who knows, maybe the journey, maybe right at it, because of where horror is right now and where this kind of horror is right now and where more of the psychological cerebral horror is right now. You never know. Somebody might go, listen, in this business, luck plays a huge part. Timing plays a huge part. Who knows? Maybe, who knows, right? Who knows? But I'm very excited about it, and my vision has never been clearer. So yeah. Again, I appreciate each and every one of you out there who has donated already, and who will donate in the future, of course. I really, really appreciate that. Have I got all the? Hang on, we're coming to the end of the show here. I just want to make sure I have not missed anything. I just want to make sure I'm not missing. Goddamn blithering Nazi pig. What movie is that from? Let's test your knowledge. Goddamn blithering Nazi pig. You guys will get it. I think you guys will get it right away. Blake says Dave could sell water to a drowning man. I might. I probably could. Dave could sell a sequel to Borderlands. Oh my God, this is great. You know what? I appreciate you think I'm a good salesman. I appreciate that. Extra says, yes, Colin. Yes. Do I have applause on here? I do. Okay, that was overkill for that kind of thing. Jesus, he just mentioned The Exorcist. Tyler Adams says, smack it, unplug it, and plug it back in. There you go. Dave could sell a heated blanket to the devil. I love this. I love these puns, or these ironies. Dave once sold Tesla to an Amish person. Tyler says, oh, that sounded dirtier than I meant. This is funny. You guys are great. I love it. This is awesome. Oh, yes. We are at 305 now. Amazing. You got, look at this. This is awesome. We've gone up to 11,305. Awesome. So now we're just $100 away from 57%. We're just $100 away from 57%. Kevin Morris, Bloodbath double feature. Thank you, Kevin. Thomas Gamba just donated $10. Thank you, Thomas. Amazing. Every little bit helps. Awesome. Thank you, Thomas. And Nicholas Pickett picked up concept poster number 3. Amazing. Thank you. It's a good one, isn't it? Yeah, it's really cool. It perfectly exemplifies, again, it's stylized. Like, I don't want people to think like, there's going to be like this big, portal opening it's a stylized rendition of, not that there, I can't say too much. I will just say that I love the poster because it's a stylized depiction of that journey, that metaphysical journey that does happen in the film. And so it's really cool. It's really, really cool. Like I said, it's like The Others meets, oh God, there's a little bit of Stand By Me in there too, I think, in terms of like that coming of age. Like, it's obviously the college kids are older than the kids in Stand By Me. But I just mean, there's that dynamic, there's that, and mine's more of an ensemble than that. And maybe, I don't know, but it's got that character drivenness, of that, and then that creepy atmosphere, and that, like, it's a bit of, again, I don't want to oversell it because I don't want people to get unrealistic expectations. These are the inspirations. These are the things that I was thinking about when I was crafting the story and crafting, the direction and all that kind of stuff. And because, like I said, when I've been writing this script for 20 years, and, it's important to remember that it was only at the beginning of this year that I really finally realized, what is this story about? It's inspired by true events. There are many things that happen in this film that did actually happen. But like every great inspired by story, I do have to take creative liberties in order to tell a story. And so it's no different than, adapting a film, or, a book to a film, or, inspired by. This is not a biopic, right? But it is inspired by. And there are definitely absolute things that happen that are in this movie, 100%. But I remember at the beginning of the year when I finally sat down to look at the draft again, my draft, whatever it was, 30. I finally asked myself, what is this movie really about? Like, what is the story, I should say, not the movie, because, it's not a movie yet, but what is this story really about? What is this about? Is it about a haunted farmhouse and these kids that go over there? Well, yeah, it is, but what is it really about? Do you know what I mean? Like, what is it? What's the story? Because I always knew from the very beginning, and this isn't, now it sounds like I'm just riding, a trend, and I'm really not. Elevated horror, psychological horror is really hot right now, and it's been that for a few years. It wasn't like that when psychological horror has always existed, but when I began writing this script 20 years ago, it wasn't the in thing, and it was more your Saws and your Hostels and, all that kind of stuff. But I always knew that I wanted it to be more psychological, more elevated, more character driven. Even back in college, you ask my college friends, they'd say, oh yeah, no, he right from the very beginning, it was never going to be like a slasher. But it took me many years to finally figure out, I was smart enough, I've said this before, I was smart enough at 25 years old to know what the film, or to know what the story needed, but I wasn't yet wise enough to implement it. I had to live more of life. I had to go through life. I had to lose my parents. I had to, go through relationships and love and loss and friends. And I had to live life. I had to grow up. I had to become a man. You're a man at 25, but you know what I mean, right? And so when I sat down to finally look at it again, and I had been writing it over the years. It's not like it was my first time seeing it in 20 years, but it was my first time in a couple years. It finally hit me what this film is really about. And yes, it's a psychological horror film. It's got the scares and the mood and the atmosphere and the thrills and the chills. And of course it does. But what is the movie about? And I finally cracked that for myself. And when I did that and I began writing it, and I began sort of rewriting it, going through it again, not a page one, rewrite, but going through it again, it became very clear to me. And I shared it with a friend of mine who played a prominent role in the real life experience. I shared it with her and she really liked it. She said, you've written something really great here. She feels that it does justice to the real experience, but also obviously tells a story all on its own as well. And so, yeah, very, very excited. And again, I understand I wish I could tell you more, and I will let more out of the bag as time goes on, of course, but I'm just being very protective at the moment just because of where it is, right? Where we are in terms of the stage, and where we're at. And so I'm just trying to, but I've said a lot really, and most of you can probably, piece some things together that may end up being true. Who knows about the direction and where it goes. But it's a story that I think is really, really cool. And obviously because I wrote it, but I'm very excited. It's an original psychological horror drama. It is. And I'm excited about it. And I wanted to raise development funds and lean on, the community, and you guys are stepping up and doing it again. And it's absolutely incredible what you guys are doing. And I'm just very, 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 very thankful that you guys, have done that. It means a lot. It means a lot. Now, I see we've gone back to 129 backers. That might mean somebody has refunded something. I'm not sure if somebody did, but usually that's what that means. So hopefully, I don't know if somebody had done that or if they're looking to come back again or whatever. Yes, somebody did do that. Okay, I see that there. I won't mention who, but somebody, I don't know why they did, or maybe they've done it, but they're going to come back at it with something else. I'm not really sure. But I do see that it was, so we will go down again, back to, where we were. That will happen. Try to, as best as possible. I don't know if a person mentioned it in the chat or not. I'm not really sure. Try to, if you are donating to the campaign, make sure you do it because you can. We want to avoid refunds. And I only say that, I'm not going to call out the person because maybe they have their reasons why. But just as I've said many times, it's important that we don't have refunds because it does but it affects the algorithm and the momentum. So only donate because you are absolutely positive that you can. Only donate because you are absolutely positive that you can. We want to limit the amount of refunds possible. If you can't donate, do not donate. Unless, of course, you're refunding because you realize, oh shit, I want that other perk. Let me refund this. I'm going to come back and, that's fair. That's fine. But don't donate. If you can't, please don't. Your food and your children and your family and your bills are more important in your world. So please don't do that. Yes, so we will go down again a little bit. We'll probably drop down to, I don't know when that'll go down again, but it likely will. But anyway, let me see. All right. I think we've got, we will wrap it up there, folks, for this episode of McCrae Live. Just a reminder, folks, all it takes is a bunch of you coming in on this perk. It's $36 US, 25 pounds in the UK. I'd love to sell this out. I don't think there's any reason why we can't. We're all Halloween fans here. Even if you can't make it on Friday, October 31st at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you will get the link after the fact because you picked up the perk. So you will still get it and be able to watch it after the fact. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, Halloween Kills, the two most bloodiest violent films in the franchise. Let's watch them together on Halloween night. I'm going to dress up. I'm going to have some candy and some munchies, and we're just going to watch two movies. We're going to watch two movies. It's going to be a lot of fun. But it's limited to 100 people. Let's see if we can sell it out, folks. I would love to be able to sell it out. Folks, you are amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Let's get this to 60% by the end of the weekend. 60% by the end of the weekend is where I would like to be. We are currently sitting, again, I think that's actually 11,260 something, I think, because again, somebody did refund. Again, if you cannot afford to donate, please do not donate, because the last thing I need is it to get to the end and then it's a refund that kills us getting into demand. You know what I mean? So again, only if you can, folks, only if you can. Please, please, please. So let's get this to 60% by the end of the weekend. We're only $100 away from 57%. So let's see if we can get there as well. I greatly appreciate it. Hey, if you're watching after the fact, jump into the comment section and let me know your thoughts on anything I had to say here today. I would really, really, really appreciate it. More specifically, of course, the main topic, Sweet Revenge, Friday the 13th. What did you think about it? Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Do you think I'm out to lunch? Do you think I'm crazy for thinking that it was all right? I thought it was fine. All right. Do you think I'm crazy? Jump into the comment section and let me know your thoughts. I would like to know. Thank you, of course, to my moderators. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you to the very generous super chats that came in today, the member chats that came in today. You guys and gals are awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And don't forget, it'll be in the comment section, pinned at the top of the comment section, to head over to the Development Funds campaign and pick up a perk or donate as well. Every little bit, no matter how big or small, gets us closer to that 20,000 Canadian mark and allows us to move into in demand. Thank you, folks. You guys are awesome. Have a great rest of your Thursday, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. Alrighty, folks. In the meantime and in between time, I will talk to you soon. Cheers.